Chia. You guys are now listening to the Krime Payz podcast. I got my co-host with me, Celine the Dream.
Yo.
Got What's Mega that? Energy Alex in the house.
Eagle Energy.
I got my other co-host, Young Glizzy.
Yeah.
What up? What's going on?
Oh
chilling like a villain.
Oh my God, dude. What an eventful week we had.
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
It was crazy.
Crazy. You know, I really I was really hopeful that 2021 we would go into the year because we were all talking about it all last year.
Yeah.
How shitty it was. So
Yeah.
it's off to a crazy start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy shit happens. So Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. To stop the electoral count of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
That was the purpose of what they did. And wow, was it an attack or was it a protest?
That was an attack.
I don't know, dude.
That was an attack. They found pipe bombs.
It was a coup, huh?
Yeah.
Pipe bombs.
You didn't see the pictures of the pipe bombs? I don't know. All I saw was pipe bombs by a garbage can on the side of the building.
And
then they found the guy that had 12 or 15 Molotov cocktails in his truck. All kinds of shit. Yeah.
I feel like if they
Guy's
were
locked up, straight to jail.
I feel like if it was an attack and it was coordinated, it would have been a lot more bloodshed. You know, I don't know extremism. I'm not an extremist, but I figure if they were going to go there, why wouldn't they show up armed and do a lot of damage?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were waiting for the right moment. I mean, there was a guy walking around with plastic zip ties.
Yeah, I saw.
You know what I mean?
But he didn't zip tie anybody.
Guy. No, he didn't. I mean, they didn't really get to anyone.
Yeah, hold on. What's up?
The air.
Turn it off. There we go.
There you go.
What happened?
Boom.
Minor glitch. So yeah, there was the zip tie guy who had the zip ties, but they didn't get to any of the congressmen because they had Secret Service and Capitol Police.
Capitol Police smoked somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt. She was a Trump supporter and a servicewoman. She's a 14-year veteran. She did some Iraq wars. R.I.P.
She didn't listen. She didn't listen. That's what happened.
And the police officer was killed also. He later died from his injury. They say he was bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher, is what they say.
Crazy.
At this point, I don't know what to believe or who to believe. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I wanted to know if he was hit, with a fire extinguisher. Where's the video? Because I know that if he got killed inside that building, there's not an inch of that building that's not on the surveillance.
Yeah.
Where's the video about?
I did see video of someone shooting a fire extinguisher in the hallway.
Oh yeah, that dude's fucked. Whoever that guy is, they're gonna catch him with facial recognition.
There was someone that was shooting the fire extinguisher off the smoke inside of the building. So I don't know. Maybe that guy.
A lot of people on social media have hit me up for my opinion on what happened, and I haven't really been able to express it. Well, number one, because I had to digest everything, and I don't want to, and there's new news coming in every day. I don't want to stand on a hill and then find out that was misinformation or that wasn't true. So this is going to be an important podcast for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just, get your points across and try to do the best without getting censored, because they are censoring all conservative voices on this thing. So,
well, good thing you got an opposing person here.
Yeah, that's why you're so important to the show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Celine.
I'm the radical one, guys. I'm apparently the radical one.
Dude, my father, he called me brainwashed the other day. It kind of struck a chord with me.
It's tough when neither side really is paying attention to what they're saying.
It's I think to me it's like sports.
Because you think that I'm in a cult-like following,
exactly.
And I think that you're in a cult-like following.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing with politics is that it's like sports teams, right? If you're a Miami Heat fan, right, and let's say LeBron is going up for the shot, he gets fouled. To you, it's a travesty that the shot didn't get called, that the ref didn't call the foul on the play. You hate it. It's the worst thing that ever happened. Now, on the flip side to that, when the other team's going down and LeBron fouls the guy and they don't get the call, you never call out your own team for the mistakes they make. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I get it.
That's where it's like the Democrats can never, say, yeah, that was messed up.
What?
And
That's a lie.
And we can't all. And
That's a
our
lie.
side also is the same way. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to find
Yeah.
common ground.
Yeah. It's it's hard.
But at the end of the day, I never judge anybody for what they see or what they feel like. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't hate anybody. I don't hate liberals because they feel the way they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like the media now is kind of trying to hate us.
Yeah. It is very polarized.
Facts.
It's very like.
Let's go one by one and get everybody's reaction. Who wants to go first?
A reaction on what?
What happened that day, and when
ahead,
you heard about
Rodolfo.
it, and what'd you do?
Oh,
What'd you think?
How did you feel?
Please
I was
enlighten
at
me.
work and it was the news on TV and I saw it happening and at first I was like, yo, what is this? I was like, yo, the Democrats are really acting crazy right now.
Yeah.
And then I realized I see all the Trump flags and the American flags and I'm like, holy fuck. These niggas are crazy to even be doing this. So when I was watching it, I couldn't believe it. And then I started going on the internet to trying to find out what's going on, like going through Instagram, Facebook. But Facebook is starting to censor a lot of shit. But I got to see like some posts were like, oh, it's Antifa. Oh, it's this, it's that. So at first I was believing, all right, it's Antifa and they dressed up as Trump supporters. This is genius. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're making us look so bad right now. But then
You thought about that right when you saw it? Like,
no,
your first
I
thought?
was looking up because it was going on for like a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I even
It took
realized it,
hours.
like I looked at the TV and it was going on, and I was like, dude, what is it? Like I didn't grasp it. So then I started going on the internet, and that's when I started seeing all that stuff. And I called you, and it was still going on.
No.
So then I went like later on after the event, I started researching and looking up things, and in my opinion, it was Trump supporters. But I denounced that shit. Like doing that, it doesn't matter Republican or Democrat, but like I don't agree with going inside of the house that's supposed to be super secured. So one, I don't even know how they got in there, but that's a mystery in itself. That's another conspiracy. But like I denounced it. I wasn't happy. I was actually very mad they did that because that was the day they were supposed to what were they supposed to do? They were counting the votes.
They're counting the electoral college.
That would have for sure, like, you know what I'm saying? That would have reassured me on my vote. Like, okay, my vote mattered. This guy really won. Biden won for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But since they did that, now I'm never going to know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to know if there was any fraud play, any of that. So that was stupid for all those supporters, Republican, Trump, whatever, to go in there and mess that up. For all the people, the American people had the right to know,
Yeah.
Alex, what was your first reaction when you saw that?
No, you can skip me.
All right. Celine.
Why? Why? You're so like vocal.
Because I didn't really have a reaction to it when I saw it. I was just kind of like,
You didn't think they were stupid, anything?
I don't know. You seem to have an opinion earlier.
no.
Yeah. Should elaborate.
Celine, go ahead.
I think I have to get activated first. Before
Yeah.
I can activate me.
Well, did you hear the Rudy Giuliani voicemail that he left?
Who?
Rudy Giuliani
No,
on one of the congressmen. So there's an audio tape of him calling a congressman, but he called like a wrong number, so it left a voicemail on someone else's thing.
But we're getting away from the format of that I was trying to go through. Alex, you don't have any reaction of what happened that day.
It's like what my reaction of how
Like
it was
when you
playing
first
out.
saw it, what did you
When I
think?
first saw it, I just said, "Huh."
Okay, Celine, what was your reaction?
I was just indifferent.
I thought the shit was crazy.
Yeah.
As soon as it was going down, I'm like,
Where were
so
you?
nobody. I was at work. I was in my new salon.
Okay.
And I have a TV there. So I was watching Netflix, doing other shit. I was like, you know what? Let me just turn on the news. And it showed all these people at the Capitol. And like the whole time I'm just watching it for hours and hours and hours go on. And I'm like, so there's no one gonna stop these people? Like they waited until the sun went down and then it was getting really crazy. But I was like, yo, this is crazy. Cause I hate to put race into it, but you know, if they were black, I don't know. Wouldn't have gone the same.
What if they were Chinese?
I don't think it would have gone the same
What
either.
if they were Mexican?
That's crazy.
Why does it have to be about
No,
race?
it could be
Yeah,
any
I don't agree
Latino.
with
It could be any
anything.
But
Latino.
immediately, the media starts making it about race. What is people
Because
rushing the building have to be about race?
Because it's not okay. It's not okay for one demographic of people to get away with this and a different demographic of people to get away with that. It's bad either way. But people shouldn't be getting away with it. A lot of people
How are they
who
getting-
stormed the Capitol.
Who was
Wait a
getting
second.
away with what? And
Wait, pause. Look.
How many
All
of
right.
those people got arrested?
I don't know.
They were escorting people out and just saying, "Okay, go home, go
No,
home."
Let me tell you. Look. So
Is it-
one.
is
Those
that-
people should have gotten arrested,
Is that,
or else
is that any different from the riots that happened a couple months
you're
back?
getting away from the
But why
Capitol.
is it any
You are
different?
getting away from
You're
it.
getting away from the Capitol.
It's protests and people getting crazy.
let
Why
me-
are we?
So why is it okay to you then? Because to me, I would have thought that no matter if there were white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, it's bad either
Because
way.
if the
That was
media
not
didn't Make
okay.
a big deal out of the other protests. Why would they? What's
Look,
so different?
Pause. The media.
You're getting away from
Let's say they were black, right? Let's say they were black.
Any other
wait,
race.
Pause. Any other race. One person. A couple people died there. The media is not pushing on that, right?
Of course they are.
They say it, yeah, but they don't say it like they would have said it if it was any different race because they were Trump supporters,
No.
Republican.
No.
Dude, Trump supporters aren't just white. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
A woman died that day, and she was a veteran. You know, and you don't know what she was going through. Maybe she just got influenced in the moment, in the heat of the moment, and was proud, and she got killed, and a police officer got killed as well.
She got killed. She got killed because she criminally invaded the Capitol building like the rest of those people who were criminals.
Yeah, but
And in the full video, which they show, they were threatening the guards that were there that they were going to beat their ass. Excuse my language. So they moved out the way. And at gunpoint, they're like, don't come in, don't come in. And you see them shaking the doors and trying to bust their way in. At that point, with 100 congressmen inside the room next door, they're going to open fire.
I'm just saying,
At
it would
some
have went
point, I'm surprised more people didn't
Alright,
get shot.
with
Hold on,
black
hold on.
people.
Okay.
It would have went the same way.
Of
Someone
course.
died, would have died then, and someone died now, white
Yeah.
or black. Was someone still died, and a police officer died. It would have went the same way, in my opinion. I mean, why they let them in? I don't know. That to me is a mystery. Why they let them in?
Because I feel like
I saw a video of the police like they walked. away from
I've
the gate.
I've heard Celine's point on the media and on social media. People were like, dude, if those were BLM supporters or Antifa supporters, they would have it would have been a bloodbath.
just
right?
based off
And
of
my
history.
my reaction to that is that it was a bloodbath. Like blood was spilled that day.
yeah.
The police shot a white woman in the fucking throat and she died. The protesters bludgeoned a police officer. I don't know his color, the color of his skin. It doesn't
white.
it doesn't mean anything
Yeah.
to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, but blood was shed that day.
Yeah.
So to say that if they were this color, this would have been this. What does that mean? Does that mean that it's not enough bodies for
No,
the media?
that's not what I'm saying at all.
No, not you. I said the media to push that narrative. Like, oh, it would have been a lot worse if it was other people. Like, come on, let's show respect for the people that died that day. But go ahead.
Oh, of course. What I feel like is that I'm surprised more people didn't. Like, of worst case scenarios that could have happened that day, God forbid someone actually did let go a bomb, or, you know what I mean? Like, my first instinct is when, if anyone were to attack a Capitol building, that Capitol security, Secret Service, like, they would be more lethal. So I'm surprised that it was only 5 people that died that day.
Yeah.
On the BLM and, you know, Antifa protest or whatever, there was National Guard and all kinds, like, militant looking police officers outside with the quickness.
But that wasn't on the first day. Like
well, this wasn't the first day
they
either.
put the National Guard on because they had already been violent for a while. Like, Trump called in the National Guard after they got violent. When it was BLM, it wasn't like the first day that it was them. It was like, okay, they have literally like burned and looted everything. Let's get the National Guard in. You know, it wasn't like they were there first. But God.
I imagine that if there was any large protest, no matter if it's this side or that side, there's always going to be people in opposition that start fights and do whatever on either end.
Yeah.
So I feel like if any cluster of people were to get together in that kind of format, protesting, rioting, whatever, that they would have that standard regardless.
All right.
And that's where I feel like it's not treated the same.
Yeah. Is that how you reacted?
Yeah,
You're done with your idea?
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you react?
How did I react? All right. So I have this thing where I always kind of like get excited whenever people revolt against the government. I don't know if you guys remembered, but like when George Floyd died, I was like sick about it when I first saw it. Like, the video was so disturbing to me. I was like most people, I was pissed off about it. So when they burned the building, the police building, I was like, yeah, you know, fuck, hell yeah. They got to learn, you know, you just can't kill people in the street and there's no repercussions for it. They got to learn. And I was excited for it. It wasn't for like maybe 24 hours later when I started to digest the ramifications of that and like, where is this thing going? And was it right? Was it not right? What about the people that worked in that police building, you know, running away from a fire? How scared were they? You know what I'm saying? So I always get excited for it, and then I start to digest it, and then I start to change my mind. You know what I mean? So when I saw it first, I was like, oh shit, they were storming the Capitol. That's crazy. Let's go. Fuck them. You know what I mean? They try to rob the election. They try to suppress the people. You know, the people who are revolting. So I was with it at first, until I started to hear other people's the way they reacted to it, and then, you know, having conversation with cooler heads and you know, I started to realize, oh my God, that's a terrible thing. You know what I mean? Because number one, it killed the whole movement in one action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like Ted Cruz was making a great point on the floor, and they were pushing to vote to see if we were going to get the 10-day emergency council to do the signature verifications so people would accept Joe Biden as their next president. And I feel like 70 million people don't believe that he's a legitimate president. And the American people deserve to know that he won. You know what I'm saying? And you as a government need to prove it. You know what I'm saying? So I was excited that was going to happen. And then when this happened, that's it. It's dead. They're not doing the 10-day thing. You know what I mean? Which is terrible. So now that I look, you know, more days have happened, more facts have come out. I can't support what they did that day. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, because they fucked up the count.
Not only that, but it was the wrong thing to do. And we live in a world of wrong and right. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I react to it. That sounds fair.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Same way.
Yeah.
I was mad because now I'm never gonna know. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna know.
You were one of the people that kind of changed my shit. You know, because like when you called me, I was still like in a frenzy, like, oh shit, it's going down. The revolution started.
Mad hype. Mad hype.
You know what I'm saying? And Glizzy was like, no, I don't like it.
I was just like, yo,
I'm like,
the heck
Why?
is going on?
He's like, because that's not how you get things done. That's how they do it. That's how the left does it. You know what I'm saying?
We never took it that far.
No, they have.
What?
They have.
What?
What?
Hold on,
did
just
not.
you wilding
Just
right
like
now.
just like we have radical rights.
I'm
you guys
not
have
saying we
radical
don't.
lefts.
I'm not saying we don't. I'm not saying we don't.
Each side has their bad. Now
I'm just saying that was OD.
Usually the right never does riots or does stupid shit like that. Like I've never, ever in all of 2020 and 2019 and 2018, haven't seen them do something stupid like that. Now this time when they did it, they did it wrong. I understand, you know, sometimes you just can't stoop down to the same level as the other,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when they stooped down, it made me feel stupid.
I've been stooping down.
Like now, they stoop. Now I stoop down to their level because I'm a part of that party.
Yeah.
So now people look at me and they look at me like, and
You're
they
radical.
think, yeah, you're radical.
Yeah, you're
right.
radical.
Yeah,
Totally.
And I'm not a radical right. I'm a Republican, but I'm American above all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So when they did that, I was mad because it makes me look stupid now for claiming it.
Chris, I have a question.
And now people
Yeah.
associate me with that.
Let's answer Celine's question.
I have a question.
Yeah, shoot.
So this is your first time voting.
No.
No? Okay, so you voted before. Okay.
Yeah, this is my second time.
Okay. You voted for, or you voted during like the Bush.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
You were old enough to vote during that kind of era.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like, because he just said, I'm Republican above all,
Yeah.
right?
No, American.
But you said Republican.
Oh, yeah, I am Republican.
You are Republican. So do you feel like there is a difference between being a Republican and a Trumplican? Like, do you understand white people?
Okay. This term, I don't know what it means. I don't know what
Because I feel
Republican
like
means.
there is like in the Republican Party, there is a very clear divide now between people who follow Trump and people who are Republican.
Okay.
When you compare like Bush to Trump,
Okay.
it's very different.
So what you're saying, like Republicans are like their own party.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, what was your question about that? Now that I have an understanding.
Now that, yeah. Do you feel like there is a difference? Was what I was asking.
Yeah. Do I feel like Republicans feel like the Republican Party turned their back on them and betrayed them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see hardcore Republicans supporting the GOP anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Like they're going to form their own party. That's how I feel like the divide is going right now
Yeah.
because it's
They
two
should.
very different. Even though you guys fall under the same umbrella, like you guys are going through your own revolution in your party. So it's like, I feel like going forward, there is a huge, following for Trump and his ideals.
Yeah.
So like for the next election, in the event that maybe he does get impeached again,
yeah.
and the next candidate comes, like how are you going to?
I don't think I'm ever going to vote again. And I didn't vote for Trump both times. I didn't vote last election. The only person I ever voted for in my whole life was Obama's first term. That's it. I used to be a Democrat. And, my mom, when I was little, she put it in my head that Republicans are for the rich and Democrats are for the poor, and we're poor.
White
So-
collar, blue collar.
Yeah. So we're Democrats. You know what I'm saying? So I got into security work, and I started carrying a gun for work and my protection and shit like that. And I used to have like nightmares about people jumping me and getting killed and like all this shit.
My God.
And yeah, because I had a kind of like a violent childhood, and that gun helped me like sleep better at night. You know what I mean? And it made me more responsible because I couldn't just be angry and do something stupid because I was armed now. So
Yeah.
I had to avoid conflicts because every conflict could be a deadly conflict. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that being a gun owner and stuff like that made me more like chill. And then Democrats started to attack the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? So then I was like, dude, why do they want to disarm me, dude? Like I need this, you know what I mean? So that made me go
'Cause
more
of
right.
events,
You
yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
So when Obama came in, I voted for him because he said that he would not fuck with the Second Amendment. Plus, he was the first black president, and I was into like race politics at that time, and I wanted to see Whitey suffer with a black
Yeah.
president. Plus, on top of that, I did like the way Obama spoke. I thought he was a very motivational speaker. He was very, he expressed himself well, and he just looked like a dope president. So I voted for him. Plus, I told all my gun friends that he wasn't going to come after their guns and to vote for him. And then I would get into a fight with them. They would troll me about it. He's a communist, Chris. He's gonna come after our freedoms, and I'll be like, no, he's not. Here, listen to his words.
I don't get that.
Listen to the man's words. I will not come after the Second Amendment. He did it. He said that. You know what I'm saying? And I showed it to people on my phone. So the shooting happened in the school, and here comes the assault weapons ban. You know what I'm saying? And now I get...
It's not just one.
Now I get...
You know how many a year?
I get bombarded with attacks from the people that I fought tooth and nail for years to try to get them to vote for Obama. I was wrong, and a politician let me down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, I think things change.
Hold on. I felt personally responsible for that. And every mistake that was made in those 8 years, I felt like it was my fault. Even though it's not true.
Yeah.
But I felt like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't want the burden of voting anymore, so I didn't vote. And I haven't voted since. So when Glizzy went to vote, he was like, did you vote? I said, no, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And all the shit I've talked, I didn't vote for it.
Yeah.
All right. So now that was a little backstory of my political ideologies.
My political ideology is I chose Republican over Democrat because Democrats, I felt, gave me, all right, in a saying that I was taught, they give you the fish. They give you the money. They give you the help. And then Republicans, more like, help you fend for yourself. Like, they teach you how to fish versus giving you the fish. You get what I mean? Money aspect-wise, that's why I chose Republican. Felt like it was more beneficial if I want to be rich.
All right. So going back to your question, you said, do I think rich Republicans are going to go into their own party? Or should they?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like the two-party system at all. I think it's broken.
Yeah.
What do you mean two-party system?
Democrat, Republican. And well, we have like independents and libertarian also.
Yeah, but they're like...
But they can't compete, you know? So.
I feel like they could, but they're never given the platform to do more than two parties at the debates.
Yeah.
Well, nah, usually...
They don't put all of them.
Yeah, no, they don't. But not many people, most people in America are either Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
I've never had someone really tell me anything.
Libertarian.
Yeah.
I don't
Libertarian, a lot of that falls under
Republicanism
or Democrat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Democrat, a lot of those other parties fall under Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
Like originally Trump was running as an independent and then Republicans picked him up.
No, he was running as a Democrat.
Originally?
Yeah, he's been a lifelong Democrat.
No, but not when he was running for presidency.
When he was running for presidency, I think he went Republican because it was easier, I guess.
I
understood who did he run against? Clinton? He wasn't going to beat Clinton in the primary, and the Republican was very
weak.
Was weak, so I think that's why he moved over to that.
Yeah, all they had was Ted Cruz at that time in his first election.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back because we'll be right back. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for holding on. We got a lot more to come in part 2. Oh, man, I have a whole list of topics that we haven't even touched yet. Be back. Chill. Go. Chill. Welcome back. Part 2 of the Krime Payz podcast. We're lit. We're ready. We're charged. You're
ready to go.
Yeah.
We're in the age right now of misinformation. The war is about info.
Tell me about it.
There's definitely an informational
so much
war.
info now. And what do? You take away the information, or you give fake information to confuse people.
A lot of people said that they felt like the election was fair until they silenced the president. You know what I'm saying? Once they silenced the president, now it's like, okay, you guys are trying to hide something.
Is he really silenced though?
Yeah, what? I can't hear a word from him.
They say that he can go on TV and say whatever he wants. Now, back in the days before all this happened, I don't mean back in the day. I mean like a month ago, every time the president would go live, I would get an alert on my phone from Twitter, Facebook, you know, always saying, "Hey, POTUS is live," and he's talking. Towards the end, they wouldn't tell me. I'm not talking about like the very end, like now after the riot. I'm talking about before the riot.
Before pre-riot. Yeah.
It would not tell me when he was talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know. It wasn't until I got home and I started looking for the news that I would be like, "Oh shit, he did a presidential address. I didn't even know."
Yeah, dude. social media is super important. Dude.
Yeah. And all right, so like during his speech, right? People are saying that he incited the riot, right? I've watched that speech. I've watched that speech 3 times. Never once did I see him incite a riot. His word specifically was, "Let's go down to Pennsylvania Avenue and let's protest peacefully and patriotically." Those were his exact quote. I haven't memorized because I saw it 3 times. You know what I mean? He never went over there and told them to get violent.
Not to Celine.
Do you know where that speech was? How far away it was from that Capitol building?
No.
It was it's got to be at least a few blocks away.
Okay.
That's why the Capitol building had really no security, because everyone was at that stage where he was speaking. And when, like you just said, he said, "We're going to march down to the Capitol building."
Yeah.
He didn't say go riot, but when you give the vocabulary that's like, unless you fight for this country, you know, it's going to be weak. We're going to be weak. What was it that he said? That, you know, we need to fight for this country. Though he didn't say go riot, go break shit, whatever. When you start saying fight for this country, you know, people are going to interpret that the way that they want to. And
but that doesn't go on him though. If you're a radical person and you take it upon yourself to riot and he didn't tell you to riot, he is not responsible for inciting you.
He is, when his rhetoric from the very beginning of his presidency, there were many times during rallies or whatever, there'd be like a heckler or whatever, and he's saying, yeah, you know, go ahead and beat their ass, you know, I'll cover legal fees.
But that's because...
That's happened not once or twice. It's happened many times.
That was a mistake on his part, but in his defense, they were throwing shit at him.
Once.
But when he said that, they were throwing shit at him.
There are times where it would just be a heckler, and, you know, they're, you know, saying there's always going to be those. But when you're saying don't be gentle with his head when you put him in the cop car, just, you know, and he's saying to, you know, beat their ass and shit, people are going to interpret that. The people who are radical, who are hateful, are going to interpret that the way that they want to.
Yeah.
And that has always been something that people correlate with the Trump presidency, and why I'm sure you probably get from, you know, people you know who are Democrat, that you're white supremacist, that you're this, that you're that, because that's the ideology that they've paired with this campaign.
I give it back to them. I call them pedophiles and communists.
Of course. But when that's the kind of rhetoric, and you say we're going to march down to the Capitol building and, you know, we're going to fight for this country and blah, 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 the people who are radical are going to take it there.
But how is that not any different from what has been going on before the Capitol building? The BLM protest, the Dems getting on microphone talking about Trump.
There was a lot more security.
You need to punch Trump
for
in
those.
the head. Snoop Dogg making a video pointing a gun at Trump's head.
Yeah. People are angry at this presidency. And I know it's very hard for you guys to believe, because you very much think that he won this election. But if we look at last summer's protests and everything, you can't say that there were more people in the streets for that than they were for that Capitol building. There's a huge majority of this country that feels that, you know, that they don't like him.
Yeah.
So the idea that you guys won the presidency and that there's no way that you guys didn't win is kind of fucked up to say, because there's a lot of people who don't agree with that.
I think what Alex is trying to say is that it's true that when they were throwing things at him and he told them not to be nice to the guy, let's say they would have tore that guy to pieces and killed him, then Trump might have incited violence against that guy. But that's not what happened that day of the Capitol riot. So I don't think he incited violence. Now, what Alex is also saying is, why are the Democrats so outraged about inciting violence when they have personally incited violence against the president for 4 years. How is that? Kathy Griffin cutting his head off, putting it on TV. Snoop Dogg making a video shooting the president in the face. Which, imagine if somebody made a video of Obama blowing his head off.
They've done
Not
that.
to
They've
mention
done that. I've
all
seen
the
it, and I know
songs.
girls. I know girls that were on that side.
Not to mention all the songs.
I knew a girl that was
hip-hop.
very anti-Obama, and that's how she thought. That's why I say that.
Yeah. And there's Alex, what are you doing?
Uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
That's Pelosi.
He's trying to come up with something, but his internet sucks.
All over the country, and maybe there will be. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest
Sounds
in
He's
our
got
lives.
snippets.
Right?
Of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in this.
No, just
That was a clip of
Yeah.
Democrats inciting violence. And I think that you have to condemn that too. You know what I'm saying? Even though
I
you
never said that wasn't a bad thing. When we had this conversation about the riots last year, I said, I specifically remember with that one guy that shot that other guy, the kid that shot the guy.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Him.
Kyle
I said back
Rittenhouse
then
was-
that both sides need to go home.
Yeah.
When they were lighting a place on fire, it's crazy. There's people who live by you're obviously taking it too far.
all these riots, though, you see, people are saying they're because of Trump. All these riots were because the police brutality against George Floyd, and there was more riots, I believe, because of Kyle Rittenhouse.
There was many.
It wasn't like, yo, fuck Trump, we're gonna riot. It was because of the brutality that was happening.
Of course.
Sucks. It happened to be during his presidency. Also during his presidency, he got the.
But they were rioting in Obama's presidency.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Who's that kid who got killed in St. Louis?
Wait, which side was
That
rioting?
he
Republicans were
stole
rioting?
something from the store.
The protests that they were having during Obama's presidency.
It wasn't. It was a riot.
or-
They burned St. Louis down.
He said protests.
Yeah.
It was a
No, there
mostly
were
peaceful.
protests because you remember that kid that shot up the black church, and people were having protests about that,
That was foul. Yeah.
about how
That
they
was
just
foul.
let him, they just so peacefully just handcuffed him and whatever after he just shot up a whole, you know what I mean? So the injustices have been going on for a really long time, but there's a way to handle that, and I feel like Trump failed at that. And that's how it got to where we are now, where we're so divided.
I feel like Trump opened up a lot of people's eyes, and that's why more people are angry, because Trump has no filter, and he told people how it is, and then people got mad.
Trump has a
you know what
lot
I
of
mean?
his own
Now
conspiracy theories.
him
and
losing,
beliefs.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I would have liked for them to tell me, yeah. I would have liked for my people not to go and riot, you know what I'm saying? And for them to be like, yeah, Trump lost, Biden's your president. I would have been like, oh, okay, you know what?
Now,
I don't really mind.
Speaking on conspiracy theories, I don't know if it is a conspiracy
Oh,
theory,
chill. We might get
but they're
blocked.
saying that Antifa, BLM, and Proud Boys were all part of the insurrection.
I don't believe Proud Boys.
Now, the Proud Boys,
I do.
one of the leaders got arrested, right? And another Proud Boy was photographed and arrested inside of the building. A BLM protester, not the guy with the horns, another light-skinned black kid. He was seen on the wall, like inside when the girl got shot. He was there. You know what I'm saying? He's been identified, and he's been arrested. He is a BLM activist.
What about that Antifa activist that did it come out to be real? Like they had a picture of him, and then there was a picture of the same guy. Like it had a picture of him next to the guy with the horns,
Yeah.
just like if I get, and there was another picture of him with the Antifa leader.
That dude, they don't talk about him.
They don't talk about it.
They
What
don't talk
about the
him.
cops?
I don't know who he was.
It's
What
disappeared.
about the cops, though, that FBI are finding
Yeah.
that are, that work in the police department that were dressed as regular civilians? The lawmakers
I think what we're talking
that
about
were in there, too.
is provocateurs. People
Yeah.
that dressed up like Trump supporters and actually incited a riot, right? And because there's so many people that are there, right? And it's tribalism. You know, they're all in the same tribe. When one of them starts fighting, they all start fighting. You know what I mean? So I think that is possible.
I think they're going to be catching people left and right.
Oh, they are.
Oh, the amount of social media video coverage.
The FBI
they're
is on
going to
their
be going
ass.
after every single one of these people.
And a lot of people are, from what I saw, a lot of those people are getting fired from their job because
That's-
a lot
Of course.
no,
That's the least of it.
Yeah, they're getting fired. Now wait, because they're all gonna get arrested. You know what I mean? They broke in to the house, dude.
Without wearing
They're
a mask.
on no-fly lists.
Without a mask.
You saw that guy crying because
At
he's
that.
on the no-fly list.
That guy, I feel bad for that guy.
And you know what? I don't feel bad. I don't
You
feel
should.
bad. If you got caught,
what about the guy on the no-fly? I don't know about this.
All right, so there was a guy who went viral on social media crying in the American Airlines thing because he got kicked off the flight. Because all the passengers didn't want him on the flight because they said he was a terrorist.
Because
So
he was at the house?
No, well, he was in Washington, D.C. Remember that a lot of
My-
people, there was almost 1 million people there.
Yeah, but why did he get kicked off? Was he wearing a Trump
Because,
hat? Or?
yeah, he was identified, I guess, as a Trump supporter somehow. Maybe he had to make America, I don't know. But they kicked him off the flight over it.
Because he was a Trump supporter?
Dude, how many times I got to explain it, brother? He
From
was a
my
Trump supporter who got
understanding
kicked off.
was
He
he
got kicked
was-
off the flight.
he was on a do not fly list, and that the attendant at the gate was not letting him on the flight,
Okay.
and that because of that, because he was put on the do not fly list.
Well, if he was put on the no-fly list, then
From my understanding, that's, you know, they're probably gonna arrest him too at some point. They're gonna be arresting everybody, and I hope they keep that same energy from that tweet that he put multiple times saying if you attack a federal building or monument, you're gonna get 10 years.
Are you going to keep that same energy when
Keep that energy.
Antifa in the future goes after
Yeah,
one of our monuments?
you want to come
or
after
breaks
one of
into
our
a Louis
government
store?
buildings? Of course.
What about if
we
they
look
break into a
so
Louis
weak
store?
right now to the Middle East, to Russia, to China? We look weak.
Well, no, well, China likes it.
They're all loving it.
China loves this.
They're loving it. And now all they know is, okay, we just have to find the forums where the radical people are, and let's just start feeding shit.
It's all right, because Biden's going
Let's
to make
just
everything
feeding
better once he sells us to the Chi-Coms.
They sold us out already a long time ago.
Yeah. they
Yeah.
did. Notice how social media just silences.
All right, we're going to jump into the censorship and how dangerous it is.
Yes.
So there's
No,
always gonna
Celine
be
doesn't think
there's
it's that.
always
Celine doesn't think
Let's
it's,
go.
You don't think
it's
there's
dangerous.
censorship?
no. I didn't say that there's no censorship. There is censorship.
Do you think there's favoritism on the censorship?
There could be.
There is.
But at the end of the day, did you read the terms and conditions when you got your phone from Apple?
Exactly, but does
You
that
didn't.
give them-
Oh,
that-
here
You
we
didn't.
go with
So-
the terms and conditions
so-
bullshit.
Does
Listen
that
to
give them
me.
the right to take away? I'm a
If it's
United
in the
States
terms and
citizen. That
conditions
gives them the right to
and
take
you
away
say
my freedom of speech.
It's a private company. They could do whatever the fuck they want
Hold
with
on.
their
If
products.
private companies can do whatever they want, then can all
If you
restaurants
agree
and
to it-
bars open? They're private companies, and
comparing-
the government is put their boot on their necks
You're-
and said, "We are regulating you. You cannot operate the way you want to."
The internet
Better
isn't
yet,
regulated
can
like a
they-
restaurant.
can
It's
they
not a
deny
government
service?
licensed.
They can't. They can't deny service because you're.
No, you
and
can't compare a
go
restaurant to an
cake-
internet site.
You can't go to a cake place and they cannot be
It's
like,
not the
"Yo,
same.
I'm not going to give you a cake because you like Trump." You can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
They can.
Any business can deny you service for any reason. Now, if they come out and say some bigoted shit like that,
If they say some racist
then
shit,
then you can sue them. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you can't do it at Facebook.
you can't do that on the internet.
I'm surprised you haven't used the word insurrection.
I did.
So.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
If you Google the term, you'll understand that exactly
not
what they
gonna
did
CNN
is what an insurrection
CNN's been
means.
blasting
Yeah,
you
look,
with the word insurrection.
I
for
wrote
the
something
last
down that I
3
wanted
days.
to say, but and I wrote it
Go
down
ahead.
just so I could say it properly. Social media showed how powerful it is by silencing the conservatives just to please the winning party for favors. That's scary. Social media is very influential. So by them silencing subjects and topics they don't agree with or violating their terms of service, quote unquote, taking away the First Amendment, freedom of speech, from the citizens of the United States, it's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about the people and how social media is taking advantage of its platform to brainwash American people and not letting people form their own opinion on subjects, whether it's political or not.
I've got 3 things to say.
Go ahead. Let her say it uninterrupted.
Okay? 3 things to say. If you watch the movie Social Dilemma, which I think some of you have, you'll know, like, it's very clear that the internet and whatever algorithms that these tech companies make are made to push you in a certain direction based off of what you search.
So you agree?
Clear and off the bat. Absolutely. And if you haven't seen that movie, watch that movie because it'll scare the fuck out of you. The second thing that I had to say was the Trump train is being censored, so they say, because of inciting violence. Obviously, if there's people who are too far radicalized, they're not going to want people to form cults and militias and whatever and do the kind of shit that happened to the Capitol. Inauguration Day is on the 20th, and there's already reports of people talking on the internet about doing something else big on the 20th at the Capitol.
They're still doing the inauguration?
Of course. Trump's not going, but it's still going to happen. Biden is going to be the next president. So that's why he's being censored. And 3, these tech companies, at the end of the day, they're private. Like any website that you go to, I'm sure there's websites for the KKK, for neo-Nazis, for all kinds of other hate groups. The internet is not regulated like how a business, a bar, a salon is licensed. You know what I mean? Like, there's not the same. You can't compare apples to oranges.
Do you think Trump supporters are a hate group?
I feel like the radical cult-like following can be. You got people out there in the yeah. You okay there?
COVID.
You see people with the Confederate flag through the Capitol building.
The Confederate
that
flags.
was wild.
That was wild.
The
There's
Confederate
people
flag-
that are fucking hateful.
Dude, the Confederate flag's
yeah.
a Democratic flag. It's not even a Republican flag.
Confederate flag.
It's a Democratic flag back when they had the Civil War and Democrats wanted slavery.
Democrats did not want slavery.
Democrats wanted slavery. Republicans freed slaves.
Republicans didn't.
What
free
was
slaves.
Abraham Lincoln? A Republican.
Republicans didn't free slaves. The South, the Confederate flag is a sign of the South. The Confederates that
The
lost,
South, which was
that
Democratic.
lost the war, they're losers that wanted to keep slavery. So you want to say Republican or Democrat? That doesn't even matter. Regardless of which side that was, the South and that flag and what that stands for is fucked up. Period.
Yeah, everyone that
shouldn't
carries
be in the
that
Capitol.
flag is an
Facts.
idiot to me because they're a loser. That
So-
flag lost.
Yeah, you could
I don't
definitely
agree with that
take
flag.
the party out of it. The person itself fucking sucks. That ideology sucks.
They're looking for him too. I saw it on social media.
So fuck that guy.
They got his
Watch my
picture.
language.
They're gonna bury that dude.
That guy's done.
Rightfully so.
Oh wait, what about that app?
Parlor.
Parlor.
All right. So before, when they were censoring us, it was the same thing, same argument. Yeah, it's public. It's a private company. If you guys don't like it, start your own company.
Search your, yeah.
Parlor's born, right? It's a social media website that doesn't censor nobody. So, what happened? Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, they started shutting down, literally clapping people's accounts. You know what I'm saying? So what did they do? There was a huge move from all those into Parler. This was after the Capitol Hill. 72 million people moved and signed up for Parler. Right? They said, fuck this. We're not going to be censored. We're going to Parler. Everybody went to Parler. Facebook, what does that do? It makes Parler the new billion-dollar company, right? What does Facebook? What does Apple do? Clap them from their app store. What does Google do? Clap them from the app store. What server does Parler use to run its website? Amazon servers. Jeff Bezos claps them. Right? How is that fair, dude?
That's not fair at all. I can't talk nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere except this podcast. And guess what's happening on this podcast?
No, and be careful.
Ain't nobody's going to hear me.
We're not people that hear us.
Thanks to Celine.
Do
Thank
you
you,
think that
Celine's very important here.
Do you think that sites like that are uncensored and give the opportunity for people who are too radicalized to plot and scheme, do you think that should be allowed on the internet?
Yeah, I do. I think that
an open forum so people can exchange ideas and radical. You know what I mean?
They're gonna clan up anyways. Don't you think the government would want a receipt?
Do you know
think, what I'm saying? Don't you when you do that on the internet, there's receipts. You're an idiot. You're gonna get caught. You're over here plotting a crime to America on the internet. You're gonna get caught.
No.
Animals outside.
But dude, yeah, let them. They're gonna get caught right away. Boom. No. They go. Oh, you were doing this. You plotted this. Boom. Bam.
Selena,
conspiracy.
in no way is anybody here a KKK supporter or anything disgusting like that. Never. But do you feel like the KKK has a right to assemble in a park and have a rally?
If they're a hate group, no. Do you think that ISIS should have a hate group site, a website that can radicalize American, by just clicking onto it? Like, oh, these ideas, let me just go to it. Let me just Google search it. Oh, look at this group. Let me look and see what kind of, things that they're talking about. And you suddenly start turning and becoming more radicalized. And before you know it, we have an entire hate group that we don't allow.
There should be no
in our country.
All groups should be taken away.
I see what you're saying. How it could be influential.
Then a bunch of women can't meet up at the park and talk about abortion, and people can't, talk.
Do you think it's hateful to burn an American flag?
It's not American. It's not. It's.
But do you think it's hateful?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Do you think people
burning anyone's flag, any country's flag, is a huge sign of disrespect?
Do you think that you should be able legally to burn a flag without getting arrested?
I think you can.
You can. Yeah, we have that freedom.
You can.
Here.
Yeah.
We can. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man.
But is burning a flag hurting someone physically, or is it?
It comes with its ups and downs. You know what I'm saying?
They used to burn crosses.
You're gonna give freedom of speech. You gotta you can't be biased. You know what I'm saying, dude? All those groups, all those scum groups, whatever. They have to have this. If we have freedom of speech, they have to have freedom of speech because it's only fair.
Okay, but no one is gonna be like in a random like. Back in the day, they used to just burn crosses and that was okay. Mm-hmm. If you go to a street right now and you burn a flag, somebody's going to be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, no cop is just going to be like, oh, look,
this guy's looking to get his ass kicked.
You know what I mean? You light a dumpster on fire and they're still going to be like,
I feel like what
are you doing?
You have the right to be a piece of garbage in this country.
You have the right to be a piece of garbage.
But you don't have the right to act on it.
You do not have the right.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, you have the right to be a piece of garbage. And if you do that in a park and they beat the shit out of you, then they just beat the shit out of you.
What would happen if I would have put a MAGA hat on and walk around? What do you think would happen?
You'll get shot.
I think people will really not like you.
What do you think?
Well, actually,
I think you would. I think you would be verbally abused.
I think I'll be verbally abused.
And then, as soon as you say something back, you'll be assaulted.
Freedom isn't free.
No, it's when you have a hate group that is correlated with your political party.
No, I'm not
it's like, people are going to look at you like, oh, you must be one of them.
Yeah.
You may not be that far radicalized, but they're going to always put you in that group, just like...
I'm not radical.
Some people think that all black people want to kill cops.
I'm not radical either.
I'm not radical.
I think Donald Trump...
It paints a bad image.
I think Donald Trump taught everybody something. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely going in the books.
I definitely feel like he has exposed that our system of government is trash.
I would say from what I learned from him
would say our
was that
politicians are
media is a
trash.
lie and media is controlled.
The media sucks in this country. Yeah.
Yes, and it's controlled, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I feel like it taught us
I
that
learned that.
Democrats are they move in their own interest and Republicans move in their own interest, and none of them are working for us.
Exactly. And no person in government is being held responsible for their crimes.
Yeah.
None of them go to jail.
No, none of them.
They have a bunch of shit on. Unlike Hillary Clinton, she's not going to jail.
Elite, but now you also see the elitism and the attitudes and how they carry themselves, right? Because when it was your neighborhood that was on fire, Nancy Pelosi didn't say anything. When it was your business that was on fire, Nancy Pelosi didn't say nothing. When they were shooting people in the street, she didn't say nothing. It wasn't until they went to her house and smeared pig blood on her house, and they ran up in her
went to
office.
a few people's houses. Yeah.
They ran up into her office and put their feet on her desk.
Something needs to be done right
Now they got extreme. They got radical against us, against the people. You know what I'm saying? And that shows you that it's okay if you suffer. It's okay if you lose your business and your livelihood. It's okay if your neighborhood is dangerous.
Politics.
But do not come to my neighborhood and do that. Because you know what all those politicians did? They built walls around their house.
The law doesn't apply to them, though.
Mm-hmm. So
they're above us.
Screw them, dude. Chia.
There's been people revolting against big government since this country was created.
No hate
if you
here,
think
but
about it.
I hope Biden, if he's going to be our president, I hope he could bring some peace.
When?
And less violence. More peace.
Do you think like those crazy Trump supporters that were there, do you think that they are more radicalized now?
Yes.
Or worse? Or
more
Yes.
radicalized now.
Yes.
Do you think that we're going to have more violence in the future coming from them?
I think we're going to
car
have
bombs
violence
like
all
Nashville?
Yep.
I think it's going to get bad. I think it's going to get bad in states like D.C. And
I hope not.
Once they tried to kidnap that one governor, what is it, from Montana, and hold her by trial and execute her.
Yeah, they failed, thank God.
Yes. But once that started coming up, it just, it's like these people, this is what they're capable of doing.
You know what it is?
This is what they're thinking of.
Silencing the people is only going to piss them off more.
Of course. And they're coming.
Silencing
They
POTUS.
attacked the First Amendment, and at the same day.
He still has an account, a POTUS account.
Yeah, but
no, they delete the tweets.
Yeah, they delete. You can't see nothing. Yo, them doing that. Yo, dude, I'm not a Trump-led, whatever you call it. I'm not that. I'm a Republican. You know what I mean? And I'm American above all. But them doing that is gonna piss off a lot of people. And I feel like that movement they did by shutting up the president, right there, that just pissed a lot of people off.
No.
Oh, well.
I was surprised when they did that. That was bigger to me than them storming in the building. When they did that, I was like,
so what are the answers? How do we solve this, Glizzy? Hurry up.
Dude, I don't know.
Alex, how do we solve this?
I have no idea.
Celine?
Smoke more weed.
All right, guys, and I'll leave you at that. Thank you, guys. Thank you for Alex. Thank you to Glizzy. Thank you to Celine for joining me and giving me some understanding.
Yes.
I do feel better now.
Yes.
Shout out to all the listeners. We appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.